also, Dennis Newell is the one who spotted Joe. I think it was a smile that you had, and he was so struck by that Dennis reached out. And that's something that obviously is our calling in Rotary, is to always reach out into the community. So just a reminder about what we're doing when we're talking about vocational services and recognizing good business in the area, that we feel that when Rotarians are successful in their work and in their business, it allows them to be more generous with their time and their treasure. And then when we connect as Rotarians, good commerce happens, good business happens. So when we look out in the community and see somebody like Joe, or Mr. Joe, as he's affectionately referred to in his family business, we talk about things like our four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? So we just apply that test in everything we do. We feel that you emulate those. Additionally, we have this code of conduct that talks about integrity and high ethical standards. And that is always going to lead to good commerce, it's going to lead to good friendships, and we look at you as a model, a beacon of that, and that's why we want to recognize you. So I just want to share with you a plaque that we have for you. And it has to do with you and your family business. So I want to pass you the microphone. We'd love to hear more stories from you. Maybe we'll just do a quick photo. No, it's all right.
So I'm doing video.
So we'll just go with that. But this has to do with the recognition of your high ethical business practice and commitment to your employees, clientele, and the business community. And we wish you and your family continued business success. So here you go. We'd love to hear some more stories about all that you do.
Thank you very much. It's funny when Sheldon had reached out, I was like, wow, I met all of you once, and I can't thank Dennis enough, but to invite me back, to come back and to honor in this way, it was definitely unexpected, and I'm glad that I think by the end of last meeting, I could feel as though we were so similar in so many of our values, and so I thank all of you for inviting me back. But first of all, I just want to be able to thank all of you and thank you again for this honor. I think, it's funny, this time I don't have a PowerPoint or anything like that, but I think I really owe it to two key people that has just kind of helped me in my belief system and my philosophy. And number one, it would be my dad. So my dad, I still remember the day we were on the beach, staring out in the water, and it was just a father-son trip. And on the beach, it was out on Maui, and we were sitting around, and I was graduating from college, and my dad had just kind of looked over at me and was like, Joe, what are you going to do with your life? And I said, I don't know. Just spent 40 years, spent some money, and I still don't know exactly what I'm going to do. And my dad had, I think he probably got this idea from one of his self-help books or whatever it was, but he says, hey, I want you to write your eulogy. And I said, write my eulogy? Why would I be writing my eulogy? And my dad was like, yeah, no, just think about, who would you want to speak at your funeral and write your eulogy? And I was like, okay, well, my older brother, that would be cool. I'm pretty sure he'll outlive me, so I'll have him speak at my eulogy. And we started writing down just kind of what I wanted to be remembered as after I had my time on this planet and passed. And by the end of it, a lot had changed. A lot had changed. And I still remember that was when my dad just kind of made it very real for me. Was that was right before he had shared with me that he was diagnosed with liver cancer and was about to pass. And my dad had just said, you just see the world completely different when you have the end in mind. And it's not about what your next job is going to be, but it's what you want to do with your lifetime and the time that you spend here. And I would say the first thing that I really picked up on was just making sure that I do keep the end in mind. Number two, I would owe this award to is really my mom. Is that when I came into the family business, my mom taught me what it really meant to be an employer. And starting with the end in mind, I had asked my mom, what's the end goal of being an employer? And my mom said, hey, the day that your employees retire, you want to make sure that when they look back on the time that they spent with you, that they think it was the best years of their life because they are dedicating the best years of their lives to you and our family. And you better take that really seriously because that's a lot of responsibility and trust into your hands. And so I think when Sheldon had reached out to me and just kind of spoke more to me about what Rotary stands for, I think that that's where a lot of our decision making and how we treat and work with our employees really stems from. Is that knowing that our employees are giving the best years of their lives to us and our family and our students, that's huge. And I think that that's where a lot of the ideas and initiatives and the care that we have for our employees is completely different than how I probably would have thought a business owner would be. And so I look back on some of the experiences that we're able to create and hang out with our employees. I know we live in a world of, hey, it's all about performance and you may have got to make sure. And I think that that is important, but I think that we underestimate just the power and the benefits of just loyalty to our employees. It's one of the best things when I look at my employees and the world that they came from. A lot of them will never have taken like a huge vacation. And one of the fun traditions that my mom had thought of was just every 5 years, any employees that are still with us in 5 years, we take an employee trip. And we've gone to Hawaii and Mexico just every few years with these employees and just being able to hang out with them for a week. And we're creating memories with them, and I hope that they continue to stay with us all the way until they retire and can look back and to make sure that they know that we want to do the best that we could as employers. And so going back to just making those types of decisions and making sure that we're always living up to our most highest ethical decision making, I think that that can be uncomfortable and difficult at times, but it actually is really easy when you know that people are dedicating their lives to you. And I don't know how else you can make any other decision but doing what's best for them. And so I just want to thank all of you again for this honor and this recognition. And we will certainly use this to remind us to continue to allow our employees to change their lives as they are impacting and changing the lives of our students. And so I just want to thank you once again.